This man is wrapped in bandages all over his body. He has no illness, but the doctors forcibly perform an amputation surgery on him without administering anesthesia. The purpose of this surgery is not to save lives, but to take them. As the man's vital signs gradually weaken, the doctor directly kills him with a hammer. A few seconds later, he revives, and his severed hand grows back. It turns out he is a new type of evolved human who automatically regenerates after fatal injuries, known as Ajin. His name is Nagai, the third Ajin discovered in Japan so far. To uncover the secret of Ajin's immortality, the government imprisons him in a research facility under the guise of protection. He continuously endures inhumane experiments such as being shot and vivisected. Apart from infinite regeneration, Ajin are no different from normal humans. They feel pain and fear. First discovered Ajin is named Sato. He was captured by the government as a child and subjected to 20 years of live experiments, being tortured daily. A few years ago, he escaped the research facility with another Ajin named Koji. But today, they return with the goal of rescuing Nagai and forming a resistance organization against humans. Sato, fully armed, storms into the research facility and begins a massacre. Guns cannot kill Ajin completely, so the guards use tranquilizer guns. Sato dodges and discards his empty magazine with smooth, fluid movements. In the melee, he is shot in the arm but doesn't care and chops off his arm with a machete, continuing to fight one-handed. However, 2 more tranquilizer darts hit Sato's shoulder. Unfazed, he smiles and places a handgun under his chin. Sato falls to the ground, and a few seconds later, his arm regenerates, and he revives. He grabs a rifle and continues shooting, eliminating all the guards. Sato fights his way to the operating table and successfully rescues Nagai. He then turns and mercilessly kills the researchers. Sato leaves 3 researchers alive and hands a gun to Nagai, encouraging him to vent his anger. Nagai hesitates with the gun in his hands and cannot bring himself to do it. Sato, however, is decisive. Nagai instinctively shoots Sato, saving the remaining 2 researchers. Sato immediately becomes enraged. During Sato's revival, Nagai hides with the 2 researchers. Sato finds Nagai's hand, but doesn't realize it is bait. Nagai also doesn't anticipate Sato's preparedness. Nagai's sneak attack fails, and he is seriously injured. He imitates Sato by killing himself to regenerate. He then quickly grabs a handgun and kills Sato, buying more time to escape. But Sato soon catches up, resulting in 3 more gunshots and 1 dead and 2 injured. Sato releases black particles from his body, forming a combat ghost. This is a skill unique to advanced Ajin. In a moment of crisis, Nagai's potential is triggered. He also releases his own ghost. The 2 ghosts engage in a fierce battle. Despite Nagai's ghost being strong, his lack of combat experience leads to its quick defeat. Sato kills the last researcher, and Nagai is shot and falls. However, he surprisingly releases his ghost again to attack Sato. This shocks Sato, as even he can't release ghost 2 times in such a short time. Sato is critically hit and enters a brief revival period. Nagai seizes the opportunity to run to the rooftop and jumps off. Sato does not pursue Nagai further, as he has more important matters to attend to. In the evening, Sato appears before a large crowd of reporters, pushing a seemingly injured Koji in a wheelchair. He tearfully condemns the government's atrocities against Ajin. To profit, officials also leased Ajin to companies for various live experiments. Says Sato posts the evidence online. Sato demands the government establish an Ajin autonomous region to guarantee their human rights. This speech causes a nationwide uproar, but 5 days pass with no response from the government. Sato releases a video, announcing he will teach them a lesson by blowing up the parliament building. The government quickly takes action, surrounding the building with a large number of special forces. Just as the officials think they are safe, a plane crashes into the parliament building, causing a massive explosion. The crowd scatters in panic. Amid the rubble, a figure stands up, charred but unscathed. It is the recently revived Sato. To force the government to comply, he hijacks a plane and crashes it into the parliament building. Koji controls a drone to deliver weapons and equipment to Sato, who is about to go on a killing spree. Facing Japan's strongest special forces, Sato remains fearless, but this time, they are prepared. A soldier shoots Sato in the head. Every time Sato is about to revive, they shoot him in the head again. This method proves effective, but they forget that Sato has companions. From a high building, Koji snipes several soldiers, disrupting their rhythm, allowing Sato time to revive. He grabs a soldier as a shield and opens fire wildly. After being wounded, Sato uses a soldier as cover, quickly kills himself, and revives again. To quickly eliminate the enemies, he holds a soldier hostage and places a grenade in his helmet. The entire Special Forces team is nearly wiped out, and Sato broadcasts the whole event live. He issues another ultimatum to the government. This time, he demands not only an autonomous region but all of Tokyo. Otherwise, he will release poison gas, turning Tokyo into hell. Nagai witnesses the massacre online. Seeing so many people die, he decides to stop Sato. He finds the commander responsible for capturing Sato and offers to help the government fight Sato. Only an Ajin can defeat another Ajin. Nagai's condition is that the government provides him with a new identity so he can return to normal life. Nagai already has a plan to subdue Sato. The nerve gas Sato threatens to use is stored at a pharmaceutical company. This gas was developed from live experiments on Sato years ago. Sato wants humans to feel his pain he have felt. Nagai leads a team of soldiers to the pharmaceutical company and sets up a trap. The gas is stored in the president's office, and they must pass through the adjacent secretary's office to reach it. He sets a perfect trap there, ensuring Sato's capture. Sure enough, Koji gathers a few Ajin helpers and appears nearby. But strangely, Sato is not in the car. He only instructs his subordinates to bring a briefcase to the scene. The Ajin team brazenly storms the pharmaceutical company, killing their way up floor by floor from the main entrance. They cover each other, constantly being killed and reviving, with no one able to stop them. The Ajin team easily reaches the 49th floor secretary's office, just as Nagai planned. At this moment, he stands in front of an exhaust fan, releasing black particles from his body. These particles travel through the ventilation ducts into the secretary's office. The Ajin's vision is completely obstructed, but humans cannot see these particles, so the soldiers hiding in the room easily subdue them with tranquilizer guns. But now the question is, where did Sato go? The soldiers surround the only entrance, waiting for him to show up. Sato, meanwhile, leisurely rides a bicycle to a factory in the suburbs, with one of his arms mysteriously missing. To the workers' astonishment, Sato lies down in a crusher. Amidst the horrifying sound of crushing, Sato suddenly appears intact in the secretary's office. It turns out that once an Ajin dies, they regenerate based on the largest piece of their body. Before entering the crusher, Sato had already severed one of his hands and had the Ajin team take it into the pharmaceutical company. He grabs a handgun and kills the surrounding soldiers, even taking time to change his clothes. At this point, Nagai also realizes what is happening and quickly opens the exhaust fan, using the same trick to obscure Sato's vision. The soldiers then successfully knock Sato out with a tranquilizer gun. Seeing the successful operation, the officials at the scene swagger in and mock Sato. Is the final boss subdued just like that? Of course not. Suddenly, the tranquilizer dart slowly floats up. It turns out Sato's ghost blocked the dart for him. Using its power, Sato quickly kills everyone in the room and revives the other Ajins. Sato uses the fingerprint of the president's severed hand to unlock the safe and successfully takes the gas canister. He goes to the rooftop, planning to release the gas there. At this moment, Nagai also arrives, and their final battle begins. They release their ghosts and start fighting, and Nagai seizes the opportunity to snatch the gas canister from Sato. Sato immediately opens fire on him. During his evasive maneuvers, Nagai is shot and falls, dropping the canister. Sato retrieves the canister and unhesitatingly throws it down. Nagai dives to catch the gas canister. Before he hits the ground, his ghost catches him just in time. The ghost then flings Nagai to a place out of Sato's line of fire. This gives Nagai time to kill himself and regenerate, but continually being suppressed by Sato is not a solution. Nagai decides to take the initiative. He pushes a shelf towards Sato as cover, then suddenly leaps from the side and shoots a tranquilizer dart. Although he successfully hits Sato, Nagai is also shot several times. Sato seizes the moment to kill himself. Nagai releases his ghost again, having it throw him into an electrical box to electrocute himself. Nagai and Sato revive almost simultaneously, with all their injuries healed. Round 1 ends, and round 2 begins. Ajin against Ajin, ghost against ghost. The two engage in fierce combat. During this fight, Nagai stabs a tranquilizer dart into Sato's calf and then aims another dart at him. Sato immediately recalls his ghost, and the unprepared Nagai loses his right arm, which falls off to a distance. Seeing Sato about to kill himself, Nagai shoots and knocks away his handgun. The tranquilizer starts to take effect, and Sato finally collapses. But just as Nagai thinks it is over, Sato's ghost appears beside Sato and kills him. Sato quickly revives again. However, Nagai is now exhausted and unable to release his ghost. Sato raises the tranquilizer gun and aims it at Nagai, declaring the game over. But then, a special forces team descends from above, using a stun gun to incapacitate Sato. While he is immobilized, the soldiers spray a large amount of nitrogen gas, freezing both Sato and Nagai into ice sculptures. They then shoot the sculptures into powder with countless bullets to prevent them from regenerating. The soldiers vacuum up all the powder. Thus, both Nagai and Sato are eliminated. Unexpectedly, the commander, under government pressure, betrays the agreement with Nagai. His orders are to eliminate all dangerous Ajin, including Nagai. However, it is not over yet. In a corner, a severed hand begins to change. This is the hand Nagai lost in the battle, showing he had prepared an escape route for himself in advance. After reviving, Nagai crashes through a window and leaps from the high building. This movie is adapted from the highly rated Japanese anime Ajin. Although Sato is the antagonist in the film, his tragedy is entirely caused by humans. As his assistant Koji said, he wanted to destroy the world after being tortured for 2 years. Sato, however, was repeatedly killed and tortured since birth for over 20 years. If it were anyone else, they might have acted even more insanely than Sato. So why does Nagai still cooperate with humans? Because he was only tortured for 3 days. Clearly, Sato rescued him too early.